Hi, fourth graders. I found it easier uh, for this to be doing some work when you can't see it and then show you my work and hold it up rather than try to lean over the document camera and have it not really focused because I want you to make sure you see everything really closely and I don't want you to miss any numbers. So you'll see that I'll be holding up my work and then doing some work and then holding up my work again to show you. So again, this is my math notebook. You can pretend it's your math notebook and what your math notebook could look like. At the top, I have named it triangular prisms because that's what we're focusing on today. Something that's really important is the formula. I'm noticing that a similarity between volume of a rectangular prism versus finding the triangular prism is that we are still multiplying 3 dimensions. The difference is that the area formula between a square or a rectangle is different than finding the area of a triangle. So the first thing that I wrote for myself in my math notebook was that the formula is the area of a triangle times the length. And to be more specific, okay, half times the base times the height. And the base and the height will, once I multiply 1/2 of the base times the height, then I multiply that answer by the length and I find my volume. Another way to think about 1/2 of the base times the height is to write it out, and sometimes that helps me. 1/2 times base times height is actually how I'm saying it, and we've talked about this before. Whenever you're multiplying, you're replacing that multiplication with the word of. 1/2. Another way, if this helps you to think about it, is the base times the height divided by 2. That's another way to find 1. So I will be solving my first problem one way, and then I'll be solving my second problem another way, just so you can see the differences. So if you look closely, my first problem, I'm noticing the height of the triangle is 5 inches and the base is 15 inches. I'm going to multiply those together, find half of that, and then multiply the area, which I found, by 2, which is the length. Okay, so, over here. This is how I started by solving it. I'm only finding first the area of the triangle. 1/2 times the base, which is 15 inches, times 5, which is the height. That becomes 1/2 times 75. And then to think of it easier for my brain, my mathematical brain, 1/2 of 75. I knew that 1/2 of 74 was 37, and I added that 0.5 after it. My last step is to multiply 37.5 by my length, which is 2 inches. So I'm going to do times 2, 75 cubic inches is my volume of this triangular prism. That's how you write the cubic or cube sign. You could also just write out cubic inches, but always make sure you have that label. Okay, my next one is a bit different. I know that I'm going to find 1/2 of 6 times 8, and then I'm going to multiply that by 20 inches. Okay, and here's my work for that second problem. I did 1/2 of 6 times 8. My area of my triangle is what I'm finding first always. That becomes 1/2 times 48. 48 divided by 2 is 1/2 of 48, just a different way to write it, which I found was 24. Then I multiplied 24 by my third dimension, the length, and I got 480 cubic inches. In your math notebook, I want you to do these next 3. I would recommend pausing the video. I'm going to hold this up, and then you'll be able to have all of these in front of you as you work. I'm going to move this up. Hopefully you can see it. The first one, the second one, and the third one. Find the volume of all of those in your math notebook first, and then move on to the Math Antics worksheet. Again, pause so that you can see this and work off of it. You don't need to redraw the triangular prism in your math notebook.